So, well, thanks once again for coming out to the last of our Costco Advent Calendar collection. And this time around, it's going to be, our theme is France. For those of us with the first edition of the Advent Calendar, we have 7 on our lineup. 2 whites, a rosé, and 4 reds. So, as usual, let's kind of get right into it, and we can kind of discuss along the way. But the first one that we're going to be pouring today is the Ciel Bleu, which is the one that's just says Sauvignon Blanc. Or did you guys pour the other one first?
This is the sub.
Okay.
Put them in order that you have it listed.
So if you want to know what the order is going to be, it's going to be the Ciel Bleu, and then the Savas, and then the LTD, then the Vieux, then the Captebule, then the Moulinet, and then the Heroes.
Guzzle friendly. Oh, yay. Yay.
So let's go ahead and pour ourselves the Ciel Bleu. Not sure if anyone has a better. I butcher a French accent. I mean, I've been teaching myself through Duolingo for like the last year, but I cannot for the life of me, do an actual French accent.
Ciel Bleu d'Aquitaine.
D'Aquitaine.
I did look at it. That's a region of France.
Well, I guess I'll go ahead and just say it as a crusty American. So, Ciel Bleu d'Aquitaine. Our Sauvignon Blanc is intensely aromatic, exotic, and fresh. Oh, fresh and guzzle friendly. Wow. Okay, French wine being guzzle friendly. The palate features tropical fruit notes and high drinkability factor. So it's twice that this thing just says just chug it straight from the bottle. Vibrant acidity makes Ciel Bleu d'Aquitaine feel alive in the glass and as bright as the blue skies of Aquitaine. Huh, okay. And on the front, nice little, almost kind of looks like, I don't know, kind of looks a little bit like Monty Python. So, as usual, give it a look-see. This one's definitely a pale yellow, if not straw.
Yeah.
With almost a slight like green tint to it. And the edge is almost like still white. So we'll give it a good little swirl and see how the legs form on this.
Maybe almost big in it.
So those are coming down pretty skinny. I mean, if I was a guessing man, I'd probably put this at about 12.5.
11.5 on the bottle.
What's that?
The bottle says 11.5.
Okay. All right. So give it a little swirl and a sniff.
Oh, there might be like I think that the green apple or whatever comes through, but maybe like a cantaloupe kind of a melon thing, which is that sweetness.
Really sweet.
I'm definitely getting a little bit of pungency to it. Yeah. Where it's sort of melony, but it's got that acidic tang to it that I would kind of link more with, say like pineapple.
It definitely has that tropical smell, like the bottle said. I definitely catch that.
But I'm also, I'm getting a little bit of like tart green apple in here as well. Well,
Pretty good with the onion.
time to give this thing a taste. So first of the night, cheers.
Really sweet.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'd say that as much as they say that it's got a bunch of acidity, I'm not getting a lot of acidity on this. I'm almost getting like a bit of a sweetness that to me, I mean, this tastes like, like if you had the like pineapple, like Dole's pineapple juice.
Yes, it tastes a lot like that.
Mine is actually a similar. Mine is Sauvignon Blanc and Semillon.
Simeon?
Yeah. 70% Sauvignon Blanc, 30 Semillon, and it's green apple and citrus.
Ah. Now, where's yours from? Because the second one on ours will be a Sauvignon Blanc with Semillon, but it's from Bordeaux comparatively to...
That's what this one is. I didn't have a straight Sauvignon Blanc, and I think I may have drank it already.
Oh.
I've been going through trying to pick out whatever was closest.
Not ideal.
So I'm looking at where Aquitaine is. It looks like it's actually a little bit south of Bordeaux. Huh. I didn't realize they were kind of growing in that region.
Yeah, I thought it was an old-fashioned name for that area because you see it in Ancestry and things like that.
Yeah. So there's our section of Aquitaine. So usually, let me see if I have my zoom. No, I don't. Zoom it. There we are. So I mean, like right here is Bordeaux, and so I mean, and then right here is Graves, but yeah, this whole section down here, I'd probably say is an interesting. I would almost kind of put it, more towards, well, it's going to have, more of that Mediterranean, deeper taste to it because it's going to be a warmer region than say Bordeaux or, but at the same time, not on the warm coastal, which is like Languedoc, which is kind of more on that south side, but over towards the Mediterranean. But yeah, I mean, as they say, it is guzzle friendly, and yeah, I'm definitely in agreement there. So anyone got some award-winning pairings with this so far?
It goes really well with our salads, our vinaigrette.
Okay.
Just mixed green vinaigrette and blue cheese on the salad.
No arugula this time?
It's supposed to be in here, but
There wasn't much in the mix.
yeah. And it goes pretty well with a bacon onion tart. That's pretty good.
Ah.
I think.
The bacon very well with it.
My lemon scallops went well with this one.
Mm-hmm.
bacon onion tart is the carnivores.
Yeah, I have some crab cakes. I made some remoulade for it. That's going pretty well. So what all do you have over there?
Oh, we
I totally spaced on, asking what is your spread today?
All right, we have steak au poivre, prosciutto wrapped asparagus, salad, mixed greens with a vinaigrette,
A cheese board.
cheese board, bacon and onion tartlets, homemade cheese sticks, and red sauce. And we've got some
Puff
puffs.
pastry with feta and cranberries in the oven.
Feta and crema is the other. No, it's feta.
It is that?
I grabbed one box.
Oh, okay.
I was looking for even.
And we have a chocolate and raspberry angel food cake, something or other over there. And yeah, I think that's it.
It's mixed
right?
chocolate. Too.
And mixed chocolate.
Well, because a student brought them to me for Christmas.
No, you brought them for us.
Oh, I did. I did.
What
I
are
think that's
these?
it. Did we?
Oh,
Oh.
cookies that I made. That's all.
We also have cookies.
Those are my favorite.
I'm so full. Like just thinking about it.
Oh.
I'm like, whoa.
These smaller plates.
I know.
You're an inspiration.
So no snowflake Cheetos this time around?
No snowflake Cheetos this time. I could eat them all though.
We're far enough past that.
It's gonna be like the running joke every single tasting now.
I know.
Okay. Well, I mean, I have to say that the start of our French venture isn't too bad.
I wonder if you would like find something really sweet to pair it with it would be better. If you want it
Oh, I don't know. Maybe.
salty. I would think
Yeah, that one was definitely guzzle worthy. And I think the creaminess of the brie really like balanced out the tanginess of the wine. It was
Okay.
good.
Did you have anything with the brie, or is it just brie?
No, just the brie at the moment.
Yeah, brie I've always kind of thought of as like really versatile, because you can use it with both reds and whites. It's really a matter of what else you put with the brie, like all and this is where you start to get like really fancy, is you get some jam jelly couverture and of different types, get some like blackberry, gooseberry, but also some like apricot and pear, and you can have just a wheel of brie with crackers and be able to just pair with any type of wine out there. Because all the brie itself, I wouldn't say brie is tasteless, but it's more there to provide that kind of fat creaminess with that like hint of, I don't know, brie-ness. I don't even know what to really say about brie other than it's got like a little bit of like a bitterness to it. But yeah, but having that little bit of something else that you put on top, like a fruit that would that's complementary to the fruit that's in the wine, really makes brie stand out.
Well, I have pineapple jam, so I think I need to try that.
Ooh. Oh, especially with this one, because it was
Right.
because of it having those tropical notes.
that's
All right. Well, I'll wait for Sarah and company to get back, and then we can move on to wine number 2.
Kind of took a start in wine number 2. You can pour. I think we're okay.
You just circle it off.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
All right. We ready for wine number 2?
Yep.
All right, our Savas with our fleur de lis on the front. Maison Savas. Bordeaux is the benchmark for dry Sauvignon Blanc. It achieves levels of fruit intensity and aromatic freshness found nowhere else in the world. A dash of Semillon adds an additional textural richness and breadth to this elegant, citrusy, and bright Bordeaux blend. So yeah, so this one being 90% Sauvignon Blanc and 10% Semillon. So, I mean, one, we're already looking at, considering we just had a Sauvignon Blanc, full Sauvignon Blanc, but it was from a region that was more south than this one in Bordeaux. So I expect this one to be a bit more grippy, that more acidic than the last one that we just had.
It is the same color. Like,
Really?
And the legs
Oh, I
are
thought it was a little bit more
completely
yellow.
better.
I didn't say it didn't look like tea. It looked more yellow. A tiny bit darker.
All right. So this one's got much the same color, but it's actually more, it is definitely not straw. It is more on the, light yellow. Okay. But it also doesn't have that hint of green like the other one did. Unless, my eyes are deceiving me. Is anyone else seeing anything different?
We have a green tablecloth, so it's sort of hard to discern with green tablecloth.
Right, the bucket right there.
That's what I'm using, but there's so much green in the field of vision. Right?
Mhm.
It's hard to-
oh, you
All right. So if we give this thing a swirl, I mean, I would be expecting this to be right along those same ABV levels. This one looks a little bit heavier than the other one, though.
It's 1% more.
That is that's impressive.
Okay.
You're definitely picking it up.
So the other one was 11.5, and this one's what, 12.5 then?
I have people there.
Okay. So let's give this thing a swirl and a sniff.
There's like no smell. Maybe I'm getting
I like
COVID.
the nose better. It's not so.
I used some of this last time. Like,
Last one.
This is
It tastes like, it smells like water.
there's a little bit more when you keep swirling
I have
it.
to swirl.
Okay, what's everyone else smelling in this? Because I'm getting something weird.
Yeah.
it's not the green apple. It's more like peaches.
No, it's something weird.
Almost peach.
Yeah, there's definitely a stone fruit, that like that apricot, peach, nectarine.
Yeah.
But then it goes like sour, bitter.
Yeah, that was the thing that I was going to kind of address, that it kind of smells like bile.
Oh.
I'm losing my.
Thank you for that. Thank you.
I mean, I hate to keep putting things in people's minds that aren't, very delectable, but especially with French wines, though, their aroma and how they taste are usually don't have, they don't correspond as much as New World wines do. where when you smell a fruit, you taste the fruit. Yeah, but I mean, it just could be that these are, I don't know. It's either this was harvested too early or is harvested too late. But there's something funky.
I'm really glad I can't smell anything on this one.
All right. Well, keep an open mind. Cheers.
Like it better than that last one.
Sweeter than I was expecting.
Really? Because I don't know, to me, especially comparatively to the last one, this one's like almost completely dry to me.
Pretty mild.
Interesting. I find this one sweeter, so maybe my bottles were misnumbered.
Pretty sure I didn't. Oh, I now I have to look through, because I'm pretty sure I numbered them correctly, but now I have to.
It could just be me and what I'm eating too.
Well, I'm wondering if, yeah, I might have, because I just gave you yours with numbers on them. I didn't really have there was no key or.
You had on the website, you had the Moulinet first for the reds, but the others are right.
Oh, okay. So then they are okay. Yeah. So which one? So where was the Moulinet on my list?
I think it was the first red.
Oh, okay. Because of it being Grenache. Okay. So yeah, when we get to the reds, we'll have to kind of do a little bit of a juggle for Ray and Amber. That it won't just be the next number in line.
Agreed.
I think it's not necessarily better.
No, like I said, to me, this one is like super dry. I mean, is anyone else getting kind of more of like a sweet sugar?
No.
Mine's pretty dry.
So you couldn't smell it, but you can taste it?
Yeah, that happens to me with most of them. I don't know why.
Yeah, this one's like super tart. Not really sure if I like this one. Yeah, but thankfully it doesn't taste like it smells.
Would you like to
Anyone find any good pairings with it? Like Ray, I would say for you, I mean, considering both are Semillon or Sauvignon Blanc, I mean, it's probably going to be pretty much the same with like your scallops kind of working, but also that crab empanada. That I heard that and I was like, ooh, that sounds really good.
I think the pepper steak here is very well.
Yeah. Cheese sticks are good.
Oh, the cheese sticks are
There's a
Kirk's homemade mozzarella sticks.
so that I think the tomato and this stuff has the citrus and the
That's
vinegariness that sort of like, so obviously the salad is pretty good too.
So this would be a good wine for them to have at Sonic.
yeah. This,
Sonic wine.
With the cheese sticks.
Oh, so if you got like that chili and cheese
Applebee's.
dog they do,
Oh,
this
yeah.
would pair well. Yeah, absolutely. 100%, I think.
And they
Or
have
the
the cheese
junior,
curds.
the junior Frito cheese wrap, the Frito pie wrap they made.
Now, because the crab cakes that I have are kind of oily. This one, and because it has that higher acidity, is really kind of cutting through the oil that's in these crab cakes. So it's the winner among the whites for pairing with crab cakes.
This is good. I like
I'm not.
Anyone else find any pairing winners for this?
Too many try it with the
Or is it still the vinaigrette for you guys?
Oh no, I like it with the asparagus. I had it with the asparagus.
Oh.
So just for giggles, I'm going to try it with some smoked Gouda.
I thought it was good with my shrimp cocktail.
Yeah. Well, yeah, French whites and seafood, especially, you like your shellfish. That's like a perfect combination.
Yeah.
Ugh. Nope. Definitely not smoked Gouda.
Hard.
It's like all you can taste is the smoke.
Oh, that's not so bad with those little
That's great.
Cranberry and cranberry and feta.
puff tartlet thingy.
Yeah.
So this is not very bad with the cranberry feta puff pastries.
Well, I haven't liked it with anything. So
Is the sauce in it filled up like a roux? And throw some beef
So
broth or
it's literally like, okay, so you pepper the steak really, really well. And you cook the steak
in a lot of butter.
in a lot of butter. And then you pour brandy. So after you take the steak off, you pour brandy in the pan, light it on fire. Don't light your kitchen on fire.
If
Caramelize the.
And
unless don't do that if you have you don't have a hood. Like don't do it if you have a microwave right above your stove and a lot of cabinets around it, because the fire just goes and it travels down the underneath of the cabinets.
it was quite a show.
And you
Anyway.
think you're not going to be part of the wine tasting this evening because
invite the fire department over.
Yeah.
And then you pour heavy cream in after like this fire goes away and stir it.
So now does the whatever you
Tomorrow.
cognac or brandy or what do you put in again?
I put brandy in it. It called for cognac, but I didn't have any cognac, so
So does that
that's why.
I mean, there's no real difference from cognac and brandy other than where it's made.
right.
It was
cream and
it
then
was definitely the show. We were like, oh
yeah,
well,
we both stood there going, what?
So no broth? Have like a stock in it?
No, but I think you were saying something about cranberry and feta, and
Yes, we have a cranberry feta puff pastry thing.
I could actually, well, I could see the show, kind of like in that is the feta, because of feta being kind of really salty. The fact that okay,
It's from Aldi's.
okay, that because of this being kind of a drier acidic wine, that extra amount of salt is what's going to kind of counteract the acidity and kind of make it a little bit smoother of a wine.
Yeah, but I think that little bit of cranberry also helped too.
Okay.
It's like citrus.
Just a hint.
It's a good wine. It's not as good on its own, but I think you drink it with the right stuff to get that.
I like it with the
Yeah.
All right. Everyone ready for wine number 3? Our LTD. I wonder what LTD actually stands for, or does it just mean limited?
That's
seems
interesting. color.
unlikely from
I think it's a
France.
rosé.
Well, I mean, pretty minimalist
I know.
cover to it,
You enjoy the label. The label is lovely.
Uh-huh.
but I mean, I'm very interested in the Grenache Cinsault blend.
Drink up.
I'm drinking.
All right. So, with a distinct peachy pink hue, we offer this wine to the connoisseur and beachgoer alike.
Oh, Come on.
Because the connoisseur can't go to the beach.
Le Trumble is a worthy rendition of a timeless style of winemaking, a refined yet generous rosé that is enjoyable world or year round.
Yeah, almost more orange than pink.
I think so too.
Yeah, it's definitely on that kind of light salmon.
Yeah.
Very, very.
Yeah, did someone say orange? Yeah, it's got a hint of orange.
Well,
Okay, but still very clear. Like it's like they just kind of gave it just a drop of color. All right. I'll give this thing a swirl. Wow, those come down real fast.
oh, you see one?
No, you don't.
What are you talking about?
Huh. Yeah. Those are pulling down pretty fast. But the fact that it's a red, usually reds are kind of like higher in sugar, so I would expect this to have a little bit higher like alcohol content than like some of the whites. But I don't know, I'd still put this at 12.5. 12 would be generous, because I mean I would almost think this would be more like 11.
Exactly.
Was it 12?
Yeah.
So it's between the other two.
I feel like
All right, well, let's give this thing a swirl and a sniff.
definitely smelling. I don't know if it's just me. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm getting almost like unripe red fruit.
Unripe. Maybe that's it. There's something strange in the nose for me.
But I mean, Ciel is kind of a funky aromatic grape as it is. Yeah, but I mean, I would expect this to have kind of those notes of like strawberry and watermelon.
We're definitely not. Well, maybe I just got strawberry.
Okay, now I'm starting to get a little bit more of the watermelon. I think it's had to warm up in my hands a bit.
Gotta get berry.
But as I'm swirling this thing and sniffing it, the more that it happens, the more kind of pungent it gets, and it starts to become more like, the watermelon like smelly marker.
Ew.
Like
Oh my gosh.
Pink.
It's like those sour candies, like the gummy ones with the.
Oh, I was thinking pink smelly marker.
There's a watermelon.
Jolly Rancher?
Yes,
Yeah.
like a Jolly Rancher. Like that fake watermelon. All right. Well, time to give it a taste. So cheers.
By the way,
I was like, something's supposed to come today.
That's kind of refreshing.
Okay.
Because it's not really acidic. It's kind of just round and. Huh. Diane, did you have a rosé at all in your bunch?
Not in the 5 that I picked out today. I think there was one more rosé in there. A claret was in there that looks
Okay.
about the color of what you're drinking, but I'm not drinking it now.
So
idea.
this tastes like bile to me.
We are reinforcing.
I am sorry that I got that into your head.
Me too.
Are we looking at like
You want it for a while. Oh, but that's because you mix the eggnog and the wine. Bad idea.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. To me, this is like very, very much on. It's like a typical rosé where it's, has those like hints of strawberry, but it's kind of unripe, or it's got almost like a weird green note to it.
I know.
Anyone else getting anything different than I am?
I don't like this.
No, you don't like it? I would probably say, well, it's probably not the Grenache. It's probably that little bit of Ciel that's in there that is adding a flavor that you don't like, which, well, now you kind of know, a note that or a varietal out there that probably isn't your bag. But me, I've got some of the cranberry goat cheese with the cinnamon, and I'm hoping that red fruit is really going to get pronounced on this.
cheese on the corner makes it not as old.
That's the pecorino.
Cheese eaters arugula. It's a lovely label. I do enjoy dragonflies, but that is it.
It's the best thing about this wine.
Best thing about the wine.
Yeah. Wow, but actually what comes out most of all in that is the cinnamon.
Cinnamon?
Might have to that's my first rosé that I've had with, something with baking spices in it. And the fact that it comes out like that, I'm going to have to do that from now often.
It's a pumpkin spice wine. Good one. Perfect for your fall.
Your fall
Basic.
table.
Basic.
Basic white girl wine. Pumpkin spice. Yes, nothing.
So Ray, what are you pairing with this one? I think I recommended the tuna for this one.
Yeah, it didn't really pair well with anything that I had. The tuna appears to be coated in paprika.
Okay.
So I think that affected its ability to pair well with this. Yeah, it didn't really go with anything. Even the couple of cheeses I tried, it was just kind of didn't change the flavor at all.
Yeah, and that's, I mean, rosé, it's kind of the jack of all trades but master of none, where it's like it just kind of it's all right with a bunch of stuff, but not really. It's not really going to like wow your socks off. All right. Well, looks like everybody else's glasses are empty. So I think this is where we had to flip things around. So the next one in for Ray and Amber, whatever your next one is, move it 2 over. I can't remember what number it is, but it should go hop it twice.
Okay, so 21.
21 becomes 23.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So for you, it'll be 22, 23, and then 21. Because we are going on to the Vieux Cinsault.
Vieux Ciel.
Cinsault. And there's a little picture of gardening shears, which are used, that's for those that are, if you've ever hand harvested grapes before, that's what all of them are using. There's going through the vineyards, like just snipping,
Yeah,
vines
actually.
up. All right. So our Merlot is it's a 2019 Merlot, super aromatic. You can smell the mistral wind. Remember that mistral wind rustling the leaves of the orchard fruit and stirring the fresh herbs, lifting their sweet scent. Ripe plum, red berries, sage, and chocolate notes ride on a wave of juicy minerality in this French Merlot. Now, does anyone remember
Writing that
when we talked about the mistral winds? So the mistral winds were the ones that blew through Rhone Valley.
Of the France, yeah.
That kind of snake their way down south. So, and because it doesn't really say where this one is from, but that kind of gave us a hint as to where it most likely is from, and it's either northern or southern Rhone. Wow, it's actually a little bit darker than I was thinking. All right. So as we're looking at this thing, I'd put this more at like a ruby.
Very much ruby.
Yeah, ruby to garnet. It's definitely darker than red. Not to the purple. But it's also, I would say, not all that clear.
No. Oh, it's very leggy.
Okay. I'll give it a little bit of a swirl. Now those are also coming. Those legs are coming down almost as quickly as the LTD.
Kind of a lot bigger, right?
Does it actually say what the ABV is on this? Because
14.
said 14.
5.
Okay. Wow. So that there, with its ABV being that much higher, this would probably tell me that it's going to be more southern Rhone than northern Rhone. Because northern Rhone tends to be a little bit more kind of grippy, because it's a little bit colder up there. Huh. Yeah, I don't know if it's my glass, but to me, the legs on this are like almost thin, which is weird for a 14.5. It should not be pulling down that quickly or that thin. But let's give it a swirl and a sniff.
Yeah, prune. Absolutely.
All right, so what's everyone else getting on this?
We got blackberry and prune.
Prune, okay.
Turpentine. And turpentine. I am very susceptible to suggestion.
What's called it mineral instead of earthy?
Okay.
It's like a limestone taste almost. Like
So
An earthiness.
there's definitely an earthiness. I'm not getting that kind of like herbal sage that it was talking about though.
No, but your dark fruit thing, that's for sure.
Yeah, I'm definitely getting a lot more of that somewhere between dried and stewed like black fruits.
Yes.
Yes.
All right. Well, let's give this thing a taste. Cheers.
Oh yeah.
Definitely the Merlot.
So it's got the velvetyness of a Merlot, but that is definitely old world. All right. So what's everyone's first impressions on this before I give mine?
It tastes better than it smells.
Okay. Ray?
Pretty good with the chocolate.
It almost tastes like cloves to me, which is weird because it wasn't smelling that way at all, and that's not something I was expecting. But
Amber?
I really don't know.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I want to say it's tasteless, but all I'm getting from this is like just kind of like sodden dirt, like mud. Like
chocolate.
It's really good with chocolate.
Yeah.
You're tasting earthiness. You're tasting bland.
Yeah, it's just it's like if you just have like a dirty leather shoe, that's like that's what I'm getting from this.
It's so good with chocolate.
Okay, so if you cook this and like aged it a few years, then the there's more leatheriness, right?
Well, I would see if I was blind tasting this, I would say that this has to be at least 8 to 10 years old because there is no fruit whatsoever in this. All I'm getting.
The oxidated lime in there at all?
No, there's definitely not like a rim variation to it. Considering it's a 2019, it's just that it has no fruit whatsoever. I get the tannic bitterness, but it is just tannin and earth, and there's really not much else going on. It's odd.
I actually like this. I enjoy drinking it.
With or without the chocolate?
I liked it without, but now I'm trying it with. We'll see where it goes.
Now I could definitely see because of how tannic it is, going with like all of your, especially dark chocolate. Dark chocolate in this is probably really good. But yeah, oof.
No, it's like a completely different.
But this does nothing to push away my just complete dislike of Merlot. I mean, mostly it's California Merlot that I'm just like, but considering I'm already kind of looking askance at our Bordeaux blend, because and it'll be something that we'll touch on is that it's a right bank Bordeaux comparatively to the left bank, which is a majority Merlot. So it's like but that is going to taste totally different. The Merlot from there comparatively to to this thing, over in Rhone. But as I said, I'm not a fan, but I'm glad you guys with your chocolate, it's working out. Amber, you find anything good with this?
Well, I tried it with my dark chocolate raspberry stuff and I still didn't like it. So I actually usually like Merlot, so I'm surprised I don't like it.
Because this is not
Right?
So I have a herb crusted cheese. They say it's a Tuscan rubbed fontal, so it's left over from when we did Italy a couple of weeks ago, and that is the only thing that paired well with this. There's something about the herbs just really meshed with that and made it much better, but everything else was a no-go.
Yeah, so that cranberry goat cheese that I loved with the LTD also is terrible with this. Though I did have some pastrami and that smoked Gouda. That actually might be the winner. I have to check some of that.
The brie made it a little more tolerable.
Redid, okay.
Well, there's enough for him to have dinner tonight, but yes, I did. Give me whatever's in there, and it's in the back of my car.
Okay, that was good. So it was definitely, it needed red meat and some smoke to really kind of bring it to the.
So we did. We tried it with the steak, and it was pretty good.
Yeah.
The steak gave it, some of that fruit came through.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then the black licorice really helps too. It makes a nice balance.
And it was surprisingly good with the bacon onion tart too.
Okay. Yeah, I'm definitely ruling that one a hard pass for me. Ugh. I mean, it is definitely not, as bad as Balloon.
Let's think about it.
that South American or South African wine, that was just terrible. The one that tastes like gasoline.
The one I had was bad too. I'm not a big fan of South African wine.
No, I mean when we did South Africa, I think we did that with New Zealand, and we had some really good ones from there. We did kind of like the more traditional ones, which were like Chenin Blanc, and then also a Pinotage.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was the Pinotage, not from your tasting, from when we were over there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and they've been getting better, because for the longest time, they I don't know if it was just because they just had terrible compliance down there, but almost every single Pinotage had some hint of Britannomycides to it.
Me too.
So it always had that kind of like latexy, like antiseptic taste to it, which Team Foodie finally got to taste when I was there 2 weeks ago.
It was amazing.
It was pretty good.
but now you understand.
Yeah.
And also your palates and your brain are kind of primed now for being able to taste that in a lot of wines. On that note, let us move on to Chateau Captebule.
Richard, you speak French like I do.
What?
I just I'm going to be really critical. That is not how you say that.
What, Bolet?
How do you say it?
Bolet.
Violet.
Violet.
Isn't that what I said? I thought I said Bolet.
No.
Violet.
Can you read the thing on the back?
Violet.
You have to speak French in the front of your mouth.
Wow. So they, I mean, right off the bat, they're already, like
Criticizing.
cashing in on their region. So from the world's most celebrated wine region, this Bordeaux red wine comes from a historic chateau on the right bank. Boo. Earthy notes blend seamlessly with the sweet and ripe dark fruit notes. Aged in oak for 6 months to soften the tannin and a kiss of vanilla.
Mwah. C'est magnifique.
So because what I was kind of saying with the boo is because Bordeaux has a kind of like a schism, much in the same way as in Philadelphia, the was it Geno's versus someone else on their cheesesteaks, where the left bank of Bordeaux, because it's a little bit colder, more kind of like hilly and kind of forested, they grow a lot of Cabernet. While on the right side, it's kind of hilly, but that's where they grow a majority of Merlot. And so because of that, kind of heavy influence, when you have a Bordeaux style wine, that's one of the first things I always tend to look for is, right bank versus left bank. Because if you like more of that kind of Cabernet, kind of green bell pepper note, you're really going to look for, you're really going to want a left bank Bordeaux comparatively to a right bank. But that really all kind of comes down to, what your distinct tastes are. So if you look for something from Medoc, that's where, the stuff, where I like mine from. This, well, again, it's going to be, heavily influenced by Merlot, which is going to be kind of like what I want to say like we just had, because again, that's from Rhone versus here, right bank, still mostly Merlot. But for the Bordeaux blend, it's going to be some amount Cabernet, some amount Merlot, and then some blending varietals in there, like Petit Verdot, Cab Franc, Cinsault. All of those will kind of get thrown in as like 1 to 5%. But it's really going to be those differences there. But I don't know, let's give this thing a looks. So this one is
red color, a little bit garnet.
Yeah, it's garnet, almost bordering on purple. It's also quite a bit darker than I would expect a Bordeaux to be.
Eggplant, yeah.
Because usually I'm expecting a Bordeaux to be, much more red. Huh. All right.
Oops. Oh well.
Let's do it American.
Let's see.
Very spicy.
Oh, legs on this, somewhat thick. I mean, I'd probably put this more at like 13.5. Still kind of thin, but let's give this thing a swirl and a sniff.
There's a fruit that comes out. It's like
Grape.
very dark, very red.
Grape.
But I'm definitely getting oats.
All right, what's everyone smelling on this?
Grape.
You think it smells like
So
wine?
I said,
Prunes, not plums.
It smells like wine.
yeah, something like that.
It's very alcoholic. I'm having a hard time getting flavors through that alcohol smell.
Yeah, but I'm getting oak and some spiciness.
This is very dark fruit front, or like dark fruit heavy. Now it's not. I wouldn't say to the point of like, yeah. I'd say it's much more on the baked comparatively to stewed, but you know, it's like black and like blackberry and plum.
Are you getting any like a nutmeg or a baker spice or a white pepper kind of something in that neighborhood? We're sort of seeing that a little.
I'm not getting baking spice. I'm getting
Steak helps a lot. Does it?
I'm getting white pepper. And I'm wondering if that might be a little bit like almost astringent alcohol smell that a lot of people are smelling. They're thinking they're smelling alcohol, and it's more kind of like that white pepper note. All right. Well, cheers.
I really like the saltiness of the prosciutto.
Yeah, comparatively to the last one, I'm definitely like this one way better. As much as I have an aversion for right bank Bordeaux, I don't know, maybe it's just because of just how terrible the actual Merlot was. This one's pretty good.
I'm liking it more than I thought I would.
Hey Ray, does it work with the seafood? Paprika?
I haven't tried it with food yet. I'll let you know in a minute.
Okay. Finding it works well with chocolate, and the feta with cranberries is kind of interesting. And the steak of flour.
It does well with the steak. Oh, I'm not sure about that.
So yeah, and this is what I would expect more from an old world wine, where it kind of has that balance between, you still have a little bit of fruit there, but you're also getting that kind of like earthy, I don't know, maybe even a little bit of mineral, but it has definitely got that, you know, earth and fruit balance going on comparatively to a new world, just like fruit punch in your face.
Thank you. I just so eat the world.
Now this is going well with both the pepper bacon scallops and the seared tuna. This one is complementing both very well.
Cool.
The pepper from your seafood would really be a good pairing.
Also with that cranberry goat cheese. Oh, yeah.
That's nice.
Just
Yeah. So apparently the smoked Gouda and the pastrami a little too strong for this, because it instantly turned it into water. Amber, did you find any of your assorted cheeses that went well with this?
Oh, I tried it actually with the chicken Cordon Bleu, and I liked it okay. I think, I don't know, I haven't decided if I really like this one yet or not.
Yeah, no, for me, this was pretty decent. So, I mean, at some point, probably, I don't know, sometime early next year, that is going to be one of the regions that we're going to go through, and though it'll probably only be like because of the cost prohibition, and maybe for Ray and Amber and some other people, might have to do a split bottle thing, because I do plan on doing a Bordeaux tasting, but those bottles for anything good, you're looking at least $40 just to to get to your good stuff.
Do you have anything with tomato in it? Because we think maybe tomato goes good with this.
Anything with tomato in it? Not so much French. French doesn't really have a lot of like tomato vine. That's going to be more your Italian varietals, maybe your Spanish varietals as well.
This brings out the earthiness in the wine. We have a tomato cheese, and then we have the tomato marinara.
Yeah.
I'm thinking it seems to work well.
Okay.
So it's not actually tomato, but I have cocktail sauce, and I tried it with that, and it's pretty good.
Really? I'm interested in how the horseradish and the cocktail sauce is paired. That's a good story.
Yeah.
This is an Italian wine with a wrong bottle. I mean, I just think we gotta say that.
Italian Bordeaux,
right?
Yeah, it's just that your French wines, a lot of those are going to have like a small amount of red fruit, but they primarily start to lean towards the black fruit, comparatively to Italian Spanish varietals, which are much more on the red fruit side, including, and especially once you start to kind of throw a little bit of that herbal green into the mix, now all of a sudden you're getting into like tomato vine, and that's why those tend to pair a lot better with like some type of red sauce, like marinara, ketchup, things like that, just something that's tomato based.
I'm out, but somebody needs to pair this with ketchup. You guys got ketchup?
I mean, I actually have some, like in my kind of dipping sauce for my crab cakes. I
Pork pounder with cheese and fries. That'd be.
There you go.
This is our Wendy's wine. I think we've had our Sonic wine.
The trailer park wine tasting, right?
Sonic and Wendy's.
Whoa!
I don't know. Maybe that'll be like after we get through the regions, we'll just go with like shit that you can pair with Taco Bell, KFC.
Yes, Taco Bell night.
Useful life skill.
Have you seen
Useful life skill.
cards that have wines to pair with Girl Scout cookies and
Mhm.
Halloween candies and things
Somebody
like
just
that?
posted one in Smart Bar for Christmas cookies.
Wines to pair with pandemics.
I did just get my first box of Girl Scout cookies in.
So start coming up with some weird new ideas after we get, like I said, because we're quickly running out of regions to kind of concentrate on. So now it's going to be now we're just got to go kind of crazy.
New Year's resolutions wines to make you meet all your goals.
I think, Richard, if you look at varietals, you can kind of compare like this grape grown in California, this same grape grown in Italy and South America. I think that would be interesting.
Yeah. Now that is another thing that we can kind of go through, and because we've already kind of gone through the regions, we concentrate on, say, like a Cabernet, and we get one from Napa and one from France and one from Australia. yeah, we'll be able to, we should be able to tell the difference, between them and recognize, well, this one's growing in a higher altitude, or, this one's old world style, things like that. Yeah, that's a really good idea. All right. So we are now on to the Moulinet. Moulinet. Our red blend Grenache Syrah. And this is the reason why I kind of put Grenache is kind of a thinner grape, but because of the Syrah that's in it, I kind of moved it ahead in the line. So 60% Grenache, 40% Syrah, Moulinet. Sourced from some of the best vineyards in southern France. Moulinet manages to take influence from all of them in an inventive blend that is like no other. Equal parts fruity and savory on the palate. Moulinet features a complex interplay of blackberry and plum notes, along with white pepper and currant leaf. That's a new note for me. Currant leaf. I've always, that's always kind of a one out there to throw to people, is just be able to say, this tastes like black currant, which really is just kind of like a more tannic version of just grape, like regular Concord grape flavor. But to go to that level of currant leaf, that's pretty ballsy.
Yeah.
I think that's the Wednesday afternoon. The guy was like, I'm ready to check out.
There's maybe some currant. Really, it just smells bad.
All right. So as we're looking at this thing, I mean, first off, I can say that, my kind of judgment on putting this one farther towards the back of the group was well called, because this one is kind of, it is bordering on purple, almost, if not purple. No, it's still more on that garnet, but it is pretty close on that purple scale.
The legs are mild, Ronnie. I don't know.
I'd say they're running down, I don't know, fairly. I'd put this on the sort of the lower end. So this would probably be more like, comparatively to some of the ones where we've had it where it's like 16. This I'd probably put more at like, I don't know, 14.5. But now for some of you, as you're seeing it tear down, see if you can actually see a little bit of the coloring in those tiers. So comparatively to the other ones where they were kind of more clear, if you can start to see a little bit of that purple coloring in them, it'll kind of tell you that, well, again, this being from more of that southern France, that it's more of from a hotter region, and which is going to produce a lot more of those kind of like colorations, which are going to influence that coloration in the tiers. All right, so let's give this thing a spin and sniff. Oh. What's people's first impressions on what they're smelling from this thing?
Hurt that blue.
And floral.
floral, like more kind of like violets, like purple flowers.
Yeah, either that or currently.
I could not tell you. I could not tell you what a current leaf smells or tastes like.
Apparently it smells like perfume.
But I will say that now I have to hunt down some fresh currant and go smell it, go find like an actual vine of it so I can go smell the leaves.
Currant reminds me of one of those berries that you'd see on a bush, but you wouldn't eat. Like everyone would be like, don't eat those berries on that bush.
That's exactly what it sounds like.
Now, that is
Yeah.
I like it, but I feel like it's
so as much as I'm getting the kind of black fruit on this, I'm definitely smelling the French oak from this, and so here's two main notes that you should probably kind of get, well, because there's a real big difference between French oak and American oak. American oak is huge amounts of vanilla with a little bit of chocolate, but there's a couple of notes that American oak and French oak share, but that French oak, it kind of comes a little bit more forward in, and that's what I'm smelling in this, which is a little bit of the chocolate, but coconut. See if you can smell coconut.
I'm mainly getting plum with like a hint of dark chocolate.
Okay.
What happened to Palos? Where did he go? He was joining.
I think once we start to get back into the, go get some stuff from Total Wine, he'll probably jump back in. I think it's probably because he didn't get an Advent calendar, which has kind of been the, the admission ticket to these.
Hey, well, I have a different one. I'm just drinking along.
Yeah.
Pretty good with that. Cranberry puff and-
But I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe not. Yeah, I'm not smelling coconut. There's something spicy there. Guess, is anyone getting kind of, I think, Ray, didn't you say you got kind of like a clove?
And this one was plum with a hint of dark chocolate.
Oh, dark chocolate. Okay. Okay. Well, let's give this thing a taste.
I'm wondering, like.
This one does have a lighter mouthfeel than our last couple.
Let's go to Hawaii and get COVID.
So as dark as the Grenache made it, maybe I guess my original prediction might have been right, where the Grenache kind of is much more thin. What's everyone tasting on this?
strawberry sticker.
I think this is a little fruitier, and I think the way I explained it is if you take the Merlot that we had before and push it to Zinfandel, that's kind of where I'm at.
Okay.
Not great, but
Yeah, it's still kind of more in that earthy, you know, the dark fruits kind of like way in the backfield.
Yeah, I'm not getting much flavor.
And that could be, again, you know, that we've already kind of like put enough, you know, fuzzy on our tongues that from the last couple of wines that essentially going, and this is the reason why when you're at a tasting, that they, you know, or even, you know, most places where they have a wine list, that they usually go from lightest to heaviest, and you're supposed to, you don't want to kind of choose down here and then all of a sudden, you know, choose something from up above, because the things that are down below are already going to just completely overwhelm your palate. That as soon as you go to something up above, it's you know, your palate's already that far fatigued that you're not going to be able to really taste much in it. And I mean, that could be part of this. For some of you, you know, maybe start, you know, drink a little bit of water, you know, really, you know, kind of wash your mouth out, and then try it again and see if all of a sudden, you know, you might get a little bit of different, you know, flavors from this. In fact, I should probably do the same.
You do that thing where you scrub your tongue with like soda crackers too, right?
Oh, one of those tongue scrapers?
It's like soda crackers.
we have bread. We have bread.
We use like-
do have some pastry crackers if you want those.
Bread would be kind of good. You know, I'm more a fan of, like, you know, like sparkling water.
I have
Or Dr. Pepper.
What do you think is best?
So I want to know how many baby gifts you got from your post. You should have registered somewhere, but somewhere cool, not like a baby store. Somewhere like with cool gifts.
Like Williams Sonoma.
Oh my God, no.
Yeah, the baby's coming. We need this new wine opener. We need this. We need these martini glasses. Yeah, that's it.
For the bow, right?
Yeah. No. Even after washing my palate out, I'm still really not getting much from this. That's disappointing.
Yeah. I'll send you the recipe, please.
Oh, the
Bake.
big on the.
I almost kind of wonder exactly where in southern France. If I was a betting man, just because of how dark it is. I mean, well, Grenache Syrah, I mean, that already kind of puts you in like southern Rhone. So I mean, it's going to be somewhere down in those regions. But considering how dark it is, it's going to be, is definitely not like Chateauneuf-du-Pape. It's probably from like one of the crappier wineries over in Gigondas.
I thought you didn't like Chateauneuf-du-Pape.
No, I do. I prefer Gigondas because they have, it's much more like flavorful, powerful.
Where's Gigondas?
It's just to the east of Chateauneuf-du-Pape.
So Chateauneuf-du-Pape's like Avignon area?
Yeah.
Avignon.
Yeah, it's more on the Chateauneuf-du-Pape, you know, for southern Rhone is more on the east side. Or west side. It's pretty much right on that border. Like I said, with Gugond just being on more of kind of like the flatter, hotter region comparatively to that.
I've been taking some art history classes that have been in the south of France, artists in the south of France. It's been interesting.
Okay.
They were talking about Le Mistral frequently blew over Vincent van Gogh's canvases when he was in Arles and Saint Remy.
Okay.
That's my only tie back to your class is Le Mistral that you talked about earlier.
Did it blow over his easels or what?
Yeah. Well, he came to Paris and it was what's his name? Henri Lautrec, the one with the posters.
Okay.
Wanted to get rid of him in Paris, and so he said, "Oh, it's really nice down in Arles," because he was a little intense, and so he went down to Arles, and then he was kind of underimpressed after being in Paris. Sorry, sort of similar, sort of related, but not really.
No, I mean, that's one of the big things about that Mistral wind, especially in northern Rhone, is that it comes through that valley so powerfully that they've got to they put up braces on the vineyard vines, so that it just kind of holds it in place. Just because if not, the winds will just come by and just rip them out.
I definitely noticed the light difference in that area. It's kind of like Florida. There's a light here that's so different from the temperate zone. I could see why artists would like it, because it just is a very bright, clear light that makes you see everything differently.
Yeah.
I think that's what I liked about the south of France.
Well, I am crossing my fingers that our full Syrah, that is our last of the night, last of the Advent calendar, is hopefully going to make things all better. Are we ready or no? Sarah still got some time?
Give me a minute.
All right.
Not bad by itself, actually.
Now, the last couple for me have been, as much as I was feeling pretty good at the beginning with the whites, these reds are kind of failing for me. Hopefully, Diane, yours are better than ours were.
Mine are all Bordeaux. Some are Cabernet, and then some are mixes. But
see, I love the taste of a left bank Bordeaux. For some reason, that characteristic, even though again people are going to be like, why do you like that? But there's a characteristic flavor and smell, especially smell, from left bank Bordeaux, which is pencil shavings. That kind of like woodsy graphite.
Yeah.
And that has a flavor like none other. That is just amazing.
I love Bordeaux, and I love the really dry Bordeaux. Love it. Not sure which bank it's from, but love it.
Oh my
gosh. But this one being just full Syrah, I mean, I keep crossing my fingers that it's a Northern Rhone wine, but I'm not really sure where this one's from. While we're waiting for everyone else, maybe I'll go do some research on it, find out exactly where we're drinking from.
Oh, it's a dark purple. It's a little purplier. A little bit.
Much variation.
A little bit more purple. Like
I want that job. Who gets that job? Like, who gets the job to write the back of these labels? Like, and do they really drink the wine, or do they just make shit up?
I think they well, considering again, like my theory about them taking all of these, and they essentially ship to was it Wisconsin?
The wine capital of the U.S.
Well, I mean, they essentially just ship them like just big tanks of wine, and then they just put that out into like they've probably got just like one big bottling system, because all of them are have the thing that kind of tipped off to me is all of them having this same wineventure.com corp, is that they're sending them just wine, and it's up to this company that's putting them all together, that is the one that's bottling them all. I'm sure that the winery probably has some they probably do the front label, but the back label I'm betting is by this Flying Blue Imports. And so they probably have a sommelier or someone that
Intern.
and they kind of get some notes to it, but then they probably also get a little bit of input from each of the wineries, like the wine owners.
I'm just saying that I'm exploring new career opportunities.
Interesting that
You might have to move to Napa, maybe.
they were 10 or 12 wines in.
Or maybe you could work for InBev. They probably, a big importer. I swear it's out of a Hallmark movie, because every Hallmark holiday movie is about like some girl in the West that meets this guy from Paris, and his family owns a winery and a chateau, and they're all the same. They're all the same.
Yeah, because Vivino is saying they just say it's a French wine. They don't even say where it's actually from. Yeah, nowhere seems to say exactly where this wine's from, even though the ratings on Vivino for this are already making me wish that the whites were our last, because I'm not holding out much hope for this wine.
Wine Advent Calendar is making me wish for 2021 along with everything else.
It's just like whenever anyone bundles a bunch of stuff, there's always going to be some good stuff, and there's going to be some not so good stuff.
The beer one, the beer calendar's much better than the wine calendar.
Yeah.
TV is any example. There's going to be some good stuff and some bad stuff all bundled together.
I don't know, like I'd say in the Advent, this Costco Advent Calendar, it's averaged between decently okay and terrible. There hasn't been anything that I would rate over a 3.5 out of 5.
Well, I go to some Total Wine tastings, and I would say a lot of the ones that they try and push aren't necessarily the best stuff either. Like the in-store tastings, like that's something where I live, that's one of the things that goes on here. So occasionally you get something really good that you're like, oh, I'm going to buy.
Better than Hawaii.
Oh, that thing.
With the German girl.
With the German girlfriend who just tested positive.
She's flying back to Europe. It was a COVID test, and it was positive. And so
All right, Sarah. There you go.
Chug, chug, chug.
Well, it's either that or you send it over to your dump bucket called Rob.
What is it?
One.
Did you open
No,
it?
that's,
No?
no, the
This is
arrow
the
sits
new
in
one.
one.
The Grenache Syrah?
That's
Oh,
the
yeah,
old
yeah,
one.
that-
No, that's the last one we had, right?
So I'm on that wine.
No,
No,
I don't know.
You need to.
Yeah,
The
that one.
Grenache Syrah.
It's a chubby one. It says so on this bottle.
It's dry. Savory.
Yeah, it's not.
Go ahead.
I'm on the right one. He's not.
I'm on the right one.
What do you mean on the right one? You're
Well,
still are you still drinking the Moulinet?
No,
The three of us
Rob
are.
is.
He is.
Rob is
because he got a phone.
he got a phone call.
Wait. So you guys, so you're on the heroes.
Yes.
Oh. Okay. I thought you were still drinking the Moulinet.
No.
All right. Let us move on.
Move on. There's nothing to move on to.
There's no more,
Well,
right? We're done?
No. I haven't gone on to heroes yet. We were still on the Moulinet.
Oh.
Okay. Yeah, like the legs are really slow.
Okay.
Move on.
So you were ahead of the class.
Yes.
Always, always.
And they say it's purple and
Okay, and this is more what I would expect from a Syrah. Yeah, this is definitely in purple territory. But again, that's what you expect from especially a French Syrah. All right. Let's give this thing a swirl and check its legs.
They're super slow. Give it a minute.
Yeah. Huh. Wow. Yeah, that's pretty syrupy. Okay. So this one being at 14.5. But wow, yeah, those are. But at the same time, as I'm looking through them at you guys, again, I'm seeing a lot of that staining. But again, as you would expect from something that's more in that purple range, that the colors that are in the wine are going to influence and actually stick inside of those tearing lanes to actually make them have a hint of purple to them. So let's give this thing a swirl and a sniff. All right. What are people getting off this one?
it's not as much in this one by kind of a lot.
Definitely get a little bit of pepper. Ray?
I'm getting raisins.
Raisins. Okay.
Yeah.
And I just say it's just that little bit of spice, almost a black fruit to it.
Like for me, other than like the blackberry, I'm getting like dust. That's what it smells like to me, is like like a dusty blackberry. You know,
You say like dust would be in the area of minerals, kind of.
yeah. You know, it's not to that like damp soil, but kind of like just, well, yeah, like I said, just like a sandy dust. All right.
But it's yeah. So I've been like some of these other French. That dusty was kind of limestoney, and this is not that.
Yeah. No. Yeah. This doesn't. To me, it doesn't smell mineral like wet stone. It's like you know, if you ever worked construction, you know, the like tile dust, like if you used a saw on porcelain tile before, that smell. Well, last of the night, last of the Advent calendar. So cheers, everybody. Actually, the last of 2020. So wow.
Let's get rid of 2020 altogether. Please let it go away.
I get an earthy taste to it. It's like a little bit of fruit at the end, but not much.
I mean, it wouldn't take much to knock out half them. I mean, I want to just like do it.
Yeah, well, to me, I mean, you know, I'm definitely getting, you know, I wouldn't even call it dirt, but I'm definitely getting a lot of the kind of dark fruit from this. I'm definitely getting a little bit of that. I wouldn't say white pepper. This is you know, to me it's much more on the black pepper side, with like a hint of both like leather and cola.
That's what I yeah. That's what I'm tasting.
I like the nose.
Anyone else getting anything else from this?
I'm getting plum.
Rob, you said plum? Yeah. Like I said, this is to me, I can't really nail down like which of the black fruits. All I can really say is this tastes like black fruit with maybe even like a little bit of blue, like a little bit of blueberry. All right. Well, time to see what this thing pairs with.
They're not. Wait. The Hawaii.
Footing the bill.
No, in the official quarantine hotel, it's cargo full.
And then need another official quarantine.
Anyone finding any pairing winners with this?
I think the steak au poivre is nice with this.
No.
I feel like it needs chocolate, but all my chocolates are in another room, so I can't get them.
It's worth getting up and walking away.
I'm on crutches, so it's not super easy to get to another room and grab chocolate.
What happened while you were on crutches?
I had ankle surgery number 3, last week. So they put cartilage into my ankle this time. So hopefully in 10 weeks, I'll be able to walk again. But 6 of them will be on crutches. So I'm about 1 week in, and so 5 more on crutches before they let me start boot walking. So fingers crossed, it all goes well this time.
Like a knee scooter kind of thing?
I do have a knee scooter, but I live in a second floor condo, so I keep it in my car for when I go to stores. It's not something I can easily, we don't have an elevator, so it's not something I can easily get upstairs and use around my condo.
And it's not like when you're growing up and you're in school and like if you're on crutches, everybody carries your books so they can get out of school, and it's really cool.
Yeah, my dog is not very good at moving things between rooms for me. So I have a little backpack, but it's that's about it. So anything else? That's why I'm actually in my kitchen today. Because I'm like, there's no way I'm going to get 7 wine glasses to another room. I'm just going to put all my food on my stove and just eat in my kitchen today.
So is the paprika seafood pairing with this, or how's that working?
No, the paprika did not work with this one. It worked with the last one. The best that I had was probably the pepper bacon from the scallops, but I really feel like this one needs something chocolatey, and like I said, all my chocolates are in another room.
We have milk chocolate now. I ate the dark chocolate with the earlier wines, and it was good there, but milk chocolate isn't as good as the dark chocolate. Oh, wow.
You can't have it all.
Oh.
I think there needs to be like a Meals on Wheels wine tasting, like, you know, for different demographics, like millennial, I don't know. Bring wine pairings and things to people's homes.
That could be a thing.
Well, it's amazing you can get wine delivered now. I mean, that's like, I had an aunt way growing up that was like a total alcoholic. And if she could have gotten alcohol delivered, that would have like changed her life, you know?
That.
I don't know. This one lives in Kansas, so
We live in Florida, so all things are possible here.
Wasn't that what some people are doing, where they essentially order like a side cup of corn and then like 5 margaritas and 10 beers?
that's a solid plan.
We have a lot of takeout cocktails here. Like if you show up somewhere with a boat and you order food, you can take out cocktails, which you couldn't do before. I know you can do it in certain places like New Orleans and I think Key West, but now you can do it a lot of places because of the pandemic where you couldn't do it before. Not like we do it a lot, we really don't. This is the most I drink is during this wine tasting, but
Hopefully that rule doesn't go away.
But,
All right. Well, on that note, I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording and just kind of jabber at will. Well, not like we haven't anyways, but